the creatures that we bring on stage to talk about their forms and the ways that their biology can affect their development and how they would have become the shape they are. So for example, do we have anyone right now who would like to come up stage? Who is not human?
Aww. But I have a pouch.
I mean, that technically counts. Let's start with you.
Bring the hot dog.
We'll start with the control example and we can build up from there. All right, so how you doing today?
I am doing just fine.
All right, so as you can see, this is one of the species called humans. Now, I know, they're really weird. The thing is, they can show up anywhere, they can inhabit almost any environment. Really, they're one of the few creatures on the planet that can do something known as pursuit predation. See, a human has these things called sweat glands, which many species do not have. So, this allows them to cool off while they're in the process of running. And this allows them to travel extreme distances without any need to rest, which makes them really impressive at just hunting down prey by going and going and going until the prey just has to straight up collapse from exhaustion. Another impressive thing is this jaw right here, capable of incredible bite force. And because it's an omnivore, it can consume anything from meat to veggies to incredibly long and copious amounts of anime. Well, I didn't say you had to eat it, I just said its potential. An impressive thing on this specimen right here is the pouch. Now, normally, pouches are only found on marsupials, but humans have evolved a way to create fake mimicries of other animals' forms and functions. Perfect point right here, this pouch for holding the baby. As you can see, small, beautiful, safely tucked in the pouch. All right, I do have to keep it rolling quick because I've only got half an hour, but heads, let's give her a hand. Oh, and then remind me, everybody, meet Dave. Dave is my son, and he will be the one helping to make sure that I don't go over time on anybody who happens to be part of my presentation. All right, do we have anybody else who'd like to? All right, I see this dragon right here. How about you come up? All right. Now, dragons are incredibly impressive for a species because as they have migrated and traveled across continents, they have sort of divulged into two separate species of Western and Eastern. This, as you can see, is one of the Eastern variants. Most likely a Chinese or Japanese. The species is incredible. At least the eastern kind are capable of either being incredibly aquatic creatures that can lord over their domain in the ocean and will maintain their power with amazing pearls in which they concentrate their chi, and you can use that chi to pretty much control the world as you see fit. There was one little creature named Neja, took one of those pearls, ended up going nuts with it. Let me tell you, if I had one of those things, I'd be getting myself a nice little island in the ocean, you know? Now, this one tends to have more blue coloration. As you can see, this would most likely make it an aquatic species. The blue and the white would be beautiful because when you're looking down from above, you have a much harder time seeing in the ocean those colors. And as you go further down, these scales, absolutely beautiful scales. This girl right here has some abdominal markings on the back as well. Those scales allow as a sort of a form of defense against other attackers because it's basically a form of armor against claw attacks, bites, even certain parasites that could try and latch onto the skin. But most of the time, a dragon's just gonna burn it all off anyways. One more time for this absolute beauty right here. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Anyone else right now?
My alien.
Oh my goodness, look at that one right there. That's a beauty right there. I can't bring that one up right away. I'm gonna save that one for later. But how about eeny, meeny, miny, this one right here? Yeah, you with a lay on top. All right. Let me just double check. You are a Shiba Inu? All right. Shiba Inus are amazing because as a canine species, they have been evolved over many, many generations to take on different tasks and roles. In the case of a Shiba Inu, normally man's best friend is the main thing they were bred for. And by golly, they are perfect for it. Adorable ears, adorable faces. Look at those lovely eyes. You can already see the love in them. Beautiful bouncing tails, naturally curled like that. And this one is actually incredible because, as you can see, this one is a plantigrade as compared to the normal digitigrade of a dog species. Now see, the really amazing thing about this is you'll actually see there are many furries out there that have digitigrade legs that tend to be very thick. This is because a digitigrade leg is actually not meant to be on for only 2 legs. A digitigrade leg would require basically constant muscle strength to keep going in order to stay supported. Think if you were to try and stand on tiptoes all day. Gravity wants you to come all the way down, and the leg you'd be fighting that all day. A digitigrade would have to normally get around this by having their balance spread across all 4s like this. This makes it a lot easier, and because you're pushing forward and leaning back, your muscles tend to be very, very dedicated to that one position. But as plantigrades grew up and stood on both legs, same with digitigrades, the legs had to grow thicker and stronger to support that weight. Otherwise, they'd just be keeling over every single time they stood up to try and get some cookies off the shelf. Now, thank you for that amazing lesson right there. All right. I'm actually making pretty good time this time. All right, who do we got next? Sakura, right there. That beauty right there. You want to come up on stage? Or in this direction, at least. Look at that beauty right there. This one is impressive because, as you can see, we've got a cross between a strawberry right here, and that's a fox, right?
Chow chow.
Chow chow. All right. The interesting thing here is the coloration. Notice that beautiful pink color throughout. See, there are 2 ways a coloration like this can happen in nature. Number 1 is through diet. Things like if something eats something with a lot of, what is it called? Carotene? Yeah, like beta carotene that you would get from carrots or shrimp will cause an extreme change in the coloration of the body. In this case, it would come out in these beautiful pinks, which you would see something like that in flamingos. But the other situation you can see that in is where the animal dyes its fur or feathers in order to attract mates or establish dominance in the hierarchy. There's a certain type of eagle that will actually do this called I believe it's not the harpy eagle, the bearded one, and yes, exactly, they eat bones and dissolve, that's a different part. But the cool thing about them is that in order to show how regal they are, they will color their feathers with any red clay they can find. The redder, the more established that bird is. In this case, I'm assuming this is actually the 3rd case where that's just how it happened. As you can see, and she is a plant right here, so that could just mean she herself is producing the carotene, which would be an incredible form of natural development. Photosynthesis, yes, that's what this little green thing right here is for. All right, and as a chow chow, these are naturally much bigger dogs. As you can see, this one is downsized a little. Don't worry, still an absolutely wonderful specimen. Look at this beauty right here. She is gorgeous. This girl is just absolutely majestic, and quite frankly, I would love to take this one home, but I believe she has other places to be, and quite frankly, that's not my place to hold her down. All right, thank you so much. All right. We have another one right now. That one right there, the robot.
Oh my.
Yes! All right. Look, what's your name right now?
Cammy.
Cammy? All right. This one is a protogen, which is incredibly impressive species. There have been 2 different types that have developed over time. Single gen?
Synth.
Synth. All right. Well, there we go. Well, actually, there's the perfect description. Protogens and synths have evolved side by side. See, both originated from the integration of technology and biology. And over time, some have developed and integrated that into their actual biology, producing circuitry as they reproduce. That can lead to impressive moments like this right here, where it looks like this one just has produced their own data chip. You could insert this into a companion and you will have the most wonderful friend. And quite frankly, you'd be impressed at the technology that comes with these things. And here you go, let's put that right back in there. Okay, gotta be careful. If that snapped down right in my hand too late, I would be missing a finger there, mates. Already happened once with a crocodile, look at that. Comes right off. Okay, but yeah, over time, and these things, like I said, started off biological, evolved to become cybernetic over time, and quite frankly, that is just proof at the miracle that is nature and biology. And as you can see, this one has taken to wearing camo, most likely lives in either a forest or desert environment based on the colors, which allows them to either blend into the environment or, in this case, stand out. Because we're not really in the desert, but I digress. It looks great. The hands, as you can see, synthetic on one side, biological on the other. Feel that paw right there. That is impressive. Wow. Squishy beans. Oh, right. Thank you, Dave. All right, that's enough for this one. How about we all give him a hand? Dave, buddy, you scared me. You okay? Okay. I know I gave you the job, but you can at least give me a warning before you do that. All right, let's see if we can move on. Who's else we got? Right, Eeny Meera right there. Yeah, come on up right there. Look at you.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Oh, that's a raptor.
Raptor? All right, and we got a beautiful raptor right here. Look at the plumage on this one. Now, originally, back around the era of the 90s, circa Jurassic Park, people looked at these things, they looked at their skeletons and the imprints that they left in their fossils, and they only thought that they were, man, I gotta be careful with this one. They only thought they were skin on the front, and skin throughout, no feathers, no plumage. Really chilly creatures. Matter of fact, let's bring you over this way so people can get a better look at you. All right, there we go. Now, the amazing thing was, over time we found out that actually raptors with their beautiful plumage, their beautiful claws, actually evolved into the modern birds that we know today. Things like chickens, raptors, eagles. Look at that beautiful. Oh, those are some lovely eyes, and these teeth right here, if you don't mind opening, careful. Those are beautiful canines in sizes. Those are meant to just rip and tear the meat clean off of the bones of whatever they're hunting. And these claws right here allowed them to jump onto whatever prey they had, sink down, and just hold on for dear life as they just ripped and tore into that prey. And look at this on the back. That even has a satchel for holding on to the little leftovers that it has. Man, imagine if I had that back when I was a dinosaur. I mean, I assume there was past lives. But anyway, as you can see, this one has black and white plumage. This would have most likely been a nocturnal species, and you can see similar coloration in things like mice, owls, other species that have evolved to be in the night. Look at those beautiful big eyes, forward facing. That is a sign of a predator right there. It allows them to keep their eyes focused on that prey. Whereas with herbivores, you'll see the eyes shift more to the side. You'll you'll see that herbivores have shifted their eyes more to the side for more of a 360 view of whatever predators they might have coming after them. This means even when they're looking down, they can look wherever their hunters are. All right, that said, absolutely beautiful girl, and we're gonna send you off so that Dave doesn't get angry at me again. All right, give her a hand. All right, anyone else? Eeny, meeny, miny, all the way in the back, right there. See, perfect example. Look at those legs.
Oh my
Look at that. Look at that wall. How you doing today? Good. Seal? Yep. All right. Come over here. Look at this camera right here. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this seal right here with that beautiful salmon. Now, the salmon are really impressive because, as you can see, this one is in the mating phase where they go from looking like a regular fish to straight Guna mode. They get this incredible jaw that allows them to fight for territory and for the mates. That beautiful salmon color, which is where it gets the name. But I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Thank you. Let's talk about the seal. All right, beautiful. Seals, absolutely beautiful creatures. Mammals like you and me that evolved to live underwater in the ocean. Really impressive. One of my favorite species is the Hawaiian monk seal, but all seals have one very terrifying thing about them. Their bones. There is something, if a seal bites you or you end up cutting yourself and getting blood on your hands while you're while you're working with a seal, something can happen known as seal rot, which will absolutely shred whatever fingers you might have. Back when people used to work with seals, and even modern zookeepers today, if you end up getting a seal bite, you will lose that finger. They are very dangerous but beautiful creatures. Look at those beautiful eyes and tell me you wouldn't love that thing right there. Now, the fur is also really impressive because it allows them to basically go into the water, swim for as long as they want, and then come out almost dry. Hydrophobic fur, very warm, very sure to keep that seal nice and toasty in those cold, cold waters. This one is probably up in the Arctic, as you can tell by the love for salmon. And so it is perfectly suited for that environment, and for that we absolutely love it. All right, and those whiskers are perfect. One more thing before, Dave. Careful. One more thing I'd like to say before I send you back is the whiskers are actually phenomenal for when they're in deep water where their eyes might not be able to fully recognize what's in front of them, because the whiskers are incredibly sensitive and allow them to feel their way through the water, for lack of a better word. All in all, this makes them a beautiful hunter, and more importantly, above that, a beautiful animal at heart. All right, thank you so much. And I can get one more before we have to be a bit more serious about it. And how about you right there? Yeah, you with the teeth. And the face and the ears. All right, how you do today? A beaming raven. All right. So what we have here is the really impressive species known as a beeman. Now, these are actually extraterrestrial creatures, and an impressive thing about a beeman, which if you look right in their face, the eyes, what a beautiful smile too, how about that? The eyes have two different designs. One actually has the ability to entrance prey. One of the eyes has the ability to entrance prey in a way very similar to cuttlefish, where the ability to, in the cuttlefish's case, it will change colors in order to hypnotize the prey and throw it off before it comes into strike. In this case, the eye actually causes entrancement and hypnosis all on its own. Some think it's a psychic development. Personally, I just think they look cool and people get distracted by that. The other eye, with that with that X cross is actually phenomenal at looking around. A pupil limits how you can see and how you perceive sight, and by being a cross shape, it's actually very similar to a lot of herbivores, and that allows it to have a much wider range of vision, which is really great for when you're looking around in space. Beemans, actually, before they came to our planet, did not have the more furry and hairy extra looks, but instead developed those as they came to our planet and learned about the species on it. You might see other species like shamans, which are shark hybrids. You might see caimans, which are cat hybrid aliens. The impressive thing about them is how the species changes based on the animals they discovered upon their entry into the earth. And these teeth are the final thing I'm going to talk about. Look at those massive, massive jaws. Okay, come on, we can do this, There we go! Crikey, got him! Now, if we look really close, ooh, feel that purr. If you look really close at those jaws, you'll see that those things come along and they lock into each other perfectly. This is one more interesting thing about Beemans. They are able to manipulate their genetic traits on the fly. This allows them to perfectly bring out the perfection of their species, which I think is perfect. So thank you so much. It's amazing to be able to see a species like you. All right, I've only got 3. You found. You got to be able to phone home somehow. All right. So I've only got maybe 2.5 minutes before the panel is over. And since it's a setup for an art auction after this, right? For about an hour.
The setup. What was
Yeah. Cool. They can wait a little bit. Let's get one more. Then I can do a quick Q&A. Any mind, one of you two, come up. Oh my goodness! Look at those. Look at that. Look, that's a species I haven't seen in Minecraft yet. All right. Is there a specific part of your species you want to talk about? All right. As you can see, this is a Minecraft coyote. No relation to the chicken jockey. But the impressive thing about them is their love for chickens. You can find these things mainly in badlands, might be on the edge of deserts, but they are phenomenal at hunting and killing their prey of chickens, cows, pigs, sheep, and the occasional villager. Oh, mainly the nitwits though, thankfully. Now, this one has actually been probably affected by a mod or two. As you can see, this one has developed sclera, and that are yellow. That usually indicates more of a nighttime creature as it allows for better vision at night. But the part that makes it interesting is the exclamation points for each eye. Now, this is very rare in nature because normally the pupil is only going to be a single opening and not 2 separate ones. Thank you. So what might have happened here in this species is it could have developed double pupils in order to, again, improve the night vision or to provide a caution to other people around it, which that would mainly be a territorial thing in order to help establish dominance around other coyotes by saying, hey, I am cautionary, do not come near me unless you want to regret it. And the communication's really on point too, look at that. All right, and as you can see, as you turn around, the block formation of this species head is impressive, especially when it comes to how they are designed in their natural biomes in Minecraft. Most species come in that box shape, and the fact that this one comes in more of a rectangular design, truly impressive. That means this one has sleeked itself, it is more refined, and on top of all that, it is absolutely gorgeous. All right, thank you so much. I can get one more in. You right there. Yeah, but let's get both of you at once. Come on. All right. First things first, will you? Hold it. All right. No, birds. Space birds. All right. Right here we've got a volley, similar to the Buman that we found earlier. This is an alien species, but it's much more avian in nature. As you can see underneath its absolute kingly crowns, it has developed multiple sets of ears that allows for amazing ways to detect the world around it. With our only 2 ears, we only can go binaural, which means we can hear from the left and we can hear from the right. This one has developed 4, so quad auditory direction means it can hear everything from everywhere all at once. I'm sure if I were to toss a coin all the way over there, it could tell exactly where it landed by the person screaming out in pain as I hit them. That would be impressive, isn't it? All right, yeah. This one is truly impressive because, as you can see, much like many species, this one demonstrates its superiority by the size of its plumage. And look at that length. Look at that. This is a truly amazing specimen right there. And you can see right here, look at that QR right there. So not only does it show how superior it is by the length, it also has an additional means of showing how great it is elsewhere. All right, let's get you, thank you so much. Let's get you sent out so I can take care of that last one right there. Crikey, look at the size of this one. All right. You're still getting it right, yeah. All right, as you can see right here, this beauty right here, this is an alligator. Similar to the very wonderful species known as crocodiles. The main difference, however, that you can use to tell them apart is one will see you later and the other will see you in a while. And another phenomenal thing about these gators is incredible bite strength. This thing could rip my arms clean off if it could open its jaws. But for what they have going down, they lack coming up. So right now, this is all the strength I need to keep it from biting me. The real danger, however, isn't the bite right now. It's a death roll. That would be where it grabs onto me and we both just start tussling and rolling around to try and get me worn out. If it gets me in the water at that point, game over. And if we turn around, look at that tail right there. Danger, danger, danger. That right there. This thing right here is great for swimming, great for just showing the size and the age and the beauty of this specimen. Look at that length. That is a tail that it knows how to swing. And most importantly, this might be a gator, but I'm still a crocodile hunter. Patoosh! All right! It's me! It's not me! No! I didn't go to crocodile wrestling school for nothing! Come here! I'm winning! I got it! Sorry, Dave. All right. And that's